I just drink like socially. But caffeine, if you were like, yeah, go a week without, any coffee or Red Bull, like it will not. There's no way,
I would be screaming.
Yeah.
Oh, that it's funny because
Let me submit the bag.
like, for me it was so a year ago I got on nicotine because I've never dealt with addiction. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get on nicotine and I'm gonna see if I become addicted to it. In the beginning, I was like, is this addiction or do I actually like this? And I'm like, I like nicotine. Because for me, it's gotten me off of sugar. It's gotten me off a bunch of things. And it just made me laugh. And then like a month ago, I was like, no, it was like 2 weeks ago. I stopped for a week, and it was funny. The second day of not using nicotine, I was spazzing. I had such a short temper. And then it got to the end of the week, and I was like, it was over. Like I just felt normal again. And I just kept thinking like, but I do want a Zyn.
Wait. How old are you?
31.
31. So you had never used nicotine up until the age of 30.
Yeah.
And then you were like, let me see it, but only as a case study to see if I can get addicted to it.
Yeah. Because like I told you before.
If that makes sense to you, I guess that's good enough.
Well,
it doesn't have to.
My thing is, I've never understood it. I've never understood addiction.
Yeah.
At all. Because like for me, I can quit things very easily.
Sure.
Like my whole family, I shouldn't say whole family, but I have a family that struggles with alcoholism. But I've never had that problem, even though I got hit by a train while drunk. Isolated event.
The train was more the problem than the alcoholism in that
Me
case.
being on the train tracks drunk is more the problem.
What if
Fair.
one time you
There's
take
enough
too
blame
much
to go around.
nicotine that you pass out, get ran over by
Hasn't
a bus?
happened yet. That would be pretty funny. That would then that's okay. Then we can all just agree I'm a dumbass, which we already kind of.
I think people have
Yeah.
agreed. We've taken the vote. Survey says.
Oh, I can't disagree with it. But it was one of the things like I've never understood it because in my dumb macho brain, I'm like, you just quit stuff. Why are you doing this? Then I do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, so now it's funny. It's actually helped me more understand. Like, oh, it's just like you think about it so much. Where it's like, oh, I'm gonna scratch that itch.
Yeah.
And go do that thing. But goddamn, do I love nicotine? Fucking Lucy or Zen sponsor me, please.
Very weird to start at 30. That's something you start in high school
See, but it's funny. Actually,
to
no,
look
I did.
cool and then continue for the rest of your life.
I did
until
chew it
you
a little
die
bit in high school, but it was only while we were
38.
fishing, and it was also Red Man. You guys ever use Red Man?
No.
It's the pouch tobacco, the big leaves.
Yeah.
Tastes like raisins. And so you put a big old wad of dip in, and then you just get that thick, gross saliva.
You haven't said one thing that sounds like interesting, like
Appealing. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like it's growing up in the country. That's
It
what
is
everyone did.
interesting. It's fascinating.
very interesting.
It's fascinating because it's like all of the worst possible ways you could do this is how you chose to do it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I've never done chewing tobacco. It seems disgusting. Absolutely.
The skull, Copenhagen, never got to that. It's disgusting.
Especially
It
as a
sounds
kid, because I've
terrible.
seen The Sandlot. I've seen that scene where they're on
Yep.
the ride.
Yeah.
And they all start puking everywhere.
Also, as a child, I one time
But that was
drank
Red Man.
my uncle's spit cup, and
Oh,
ever
yeah.
since then, anytime I see someone with a dip, it makes me want to throw up.
Anybody
So,
who's accidentally taken a sip of a drink that somebody put like a cigarette out in,
Yes.
to me that's enough to be like, I will never smoke
100%.
ever in my life.
Yeah,
Never use any like nicotine.
my
products.
family is white trash.
But that's why I like Zins, because there's no flavor. You don't get that like over saliva. Because I remember my dad would go through 2 or 3 tins of Skull a day.
But what are you comparing it to?
What do you mean?
Like this was your first nicotine, so you're like, I like Zins. That's why I like Zins. But
Because for me, it's like, so the same thing. I drank my dad's I had a Pepsi can, he had a Pepsi can. I drank the wrong Pepsi can and got a mouthful of fucking Skull. Like, you ever,
yeah.
And I can still feel the weight of the can today. Because I'm like, it still blows my mind that I grabbed the can, because my soda was full. So when I grabbed his spit can and grabbed it, it had the same weight. And just knowing that's all tobacco spit, like I can still feel that. And I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
yeah, I think I was like 6, but I feel that.
But
too.
it's for me, it was
disgusting.
like I can even smell the wintergreen from that what he used to chew. But so then in Zins, that's why for me it was like it didn't It doesn't associate in my brain because they're just completely different smell wise.
I just love that you have this PTSD, but it led you to doing the same thing,
Yeah.
like by choice, multiple times.
Yeah.
It would be like if somebody had
As a
non-flashbacks
test.
and they're like, "I'm gonna fight this by going back to war, whatever the current war is."
Have you
like,
seen
sign me
Rambo?
up. Touche. That's a good point. You are basically
Like,
Rambo.
nicotine drew first blood. Start wearing a bandana.
All right, everybody. Well, this is the No Souls podcast coming back, first time on video. Thanks for being the.
We're figuring out the video.
Yeah.
That's all good. We're figuring out the video. Who knows how the audio is going to be? We're going to figure that out later.
Yeah. Oh no.
But this is our first episode in like a year and a half, probably. Excited to be back. Joined as always by my co-host Logan Farr. Logan, thanks for being here. At
Always.
Your house and your beautiful Joe Rogan poster.
I will not have him besmirched in my household. We are an ivermectin household.
If you were a horse, we would have to take you out back and shoot you.
Nah, get one of those cool wheelchairs.
And then we are also joined by our guest, Roast Battle Commissioner, formerly on Roast Battle, the TV show, writer for multiple roasts, Pat Barker.
Hey, sorry, I'm taking in the Rogan thing right now.
All the it's past guests that are making up his face.
I thought that, but then he did not have a samurai. That's the dude from the Book of Five Rings.
I'm looking at the one like in the center of his forehead. Is that like? Do they have Einstein and everybody, like all the world's biggest geniuses, and in the middle, is that Jordan Peterson?
Yeah, it looks like Godsad, Jordan Peterson, Eric Weinstein, I Don't Know a Woman, Ben Shapiro.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know the other woman.
Then in the comics row, you got Chris D'Elia hanging out. That's fun.
Oh yeah, I see Bert and Fat Tom. So this was a while ago.
Chris D'Elia's next to a woman way too old for him.
Oh, I see Neil deGrasse. Oh, there's Mel Gibson in there.
Yeah, this is
Mike Tyson and Elon Musk and Bernie Sanders in the top right corner. It's a wild painting.
This is simultaneously a beautiful and absolutely insane piece of art.
I like that it's Joe Rogan, and then there's another Joe Rogan right here.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah, it's him commentating. So he's commentating on himself right now.
Okay.
Oh no, Joe Rogan again. How many Joe Rogans are in there?
There's a couple. There's the two up by his eyes for the Comedy Store. We could do an hour on that.
Okay.
Painting.
I've never stared at it
because
that
we don't
long.
really have any topics to talk about. But we're excited to have you, Pat. You came up for the Phillies A's game. Now that the A's are in Sacramento,
I did. Yeah.
how'd you enjoy the game last night?
Right. I mean, all right. So, I try to make it to every major league ballpark, and the A's are playing in a minor league ballpark.
How many of them have you been to now?
If you count the Sacramento, which I do, they
don't-
played a major league game.
They did play a
inside it.
major league game there.
No, that was number 29 for me.
Okay, out of how many? 32?
Well, there's 30, but a lot of them are like have since been demolished. Or
Okay.
whatever. So of
So
the
you've been to
current
older
30, I
ones.
think I've been to like 22 or 23.
Okay.
But 29 total. And then last night, it was just interesting because it's like you're in like this little tiny. You feel like you're at spring training or like a minor league
for
game,
sure.
but it actually matters.
Yeah.
So for the first, I got a cheap seat, which there's no bad seat in a stadium that small.
Every and also the security was so lax. They weren't checking anything.
And even if they did, like, I like to go around and just check the game from like a different, viewpoint every inning. So in like the 7th or 8th, I went out to, there's like a home run deck in left field.
Yeah.
And I went out to the guy in front and I'm like, hey, do you need a special ticket to get in here? He's like, yeah, but also you can go. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
I love that because we looked and the tickets for that was $60 more than the tickets that we got.
Which is crazy.
So,
Your tickets were so much better.
So
I watched
much better.
an inning from there, and I'm like, okay. But yeah, so I wandered around, and then the 9th inning, because technically you and I were in the same section.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of doing my own thing. And then the 9th inning, I came down to you, and I had no idea what was going on. And it was a 1-0 game the whole way.
Yeah.
It wasn't a super exciting game.
Until the 9th inning.
Real pitcher's duel, and then in the 9th, the Phillies scored 3, and then the A's scored 3, and it was a lot of fun. But I got to enjoy the last half inning down with you and the most insane person I've ever met.
Yes, it was so fun. I thought I was gonna punch this dude, and I told my wife afterwards, like, the A's are only gonna be here for one season. I should have done it. Like, so what if you banned me? I don't care. Move to Vegas.
You're not gonna go to a River Cats game?
I might. That is the one thing that was stopping me. I just did something with the River Cats last week, 2 weeks ago, and they want us back next year. I didn't want to ruin that.
I'm very surprised they want us back, to be honest.
That is also true.
What was the thing you did?
Heck a hole?
We roasted people at a golf tournament for them.
Oh, that was with that. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was a lot of fun, but it's like we had only 2 people really spaz.
Yeah.
Which was surprising to us.
Yeah, we said a lot of mean things. Like, they told us to keep it PG, and we really did very well for the most part.
Yeah, it was a guy who was supposed to be reining us in who ended up saying the most fucked up things.
Yeah.
Which is very funny to me, where it's like, we're over here trying our hardest to not say the things we actually want to say, and then you're getting drunk and saying way worse things.
Yeah.
And you're the person who's going to report back on us.
Yeah, that was very frustrating. But it was such a fun time that I want to do it again next year.
Yeah, it was great.
So that was one of the things that was going through my head. But it all started, you missed this part, but so there's this super drunk guy sitting behind us by himself, but like he's with the people behind him, but he's sitting separate from them.
Yeah.
Next to these 2 Asian couples, young Asian couples. They're 22. I know this because he's asking them everything about their lives and then giving them life advice. And
Fun
me
guy.
and my wife are like listening to him. It's also hard not to listen to him. He's so loud.
Yeah.
That like we're just listening and like making our own comments on the shit he's saying. Him trying to guess, are you guys Japanese? Taiwanese? Like, it was very funny.
Is my dad?
And then he reaches his glove in front of my wife and like claps it in front of her face. I think to catch like a little piece of fuzz that was flying, but he was also like, he kept saying that he would protect people if the ball came near us, but like they weren't hitting at that time. There was no reason to do that. And Sanam was like, "Don't touch me!" Like, and he also like touched her shoulder, and she was like, "Don't touch me!" And he was like, "I'm so sorry. Like, my bad. I didn't mean to touch you." But then he just sat there, repeating over and over, "Don't touch me. I'm an American citizen. Don't touch me."
Oh.
And I was like, "Dog, I will punch you." Like, what are we doing?
It won't hurt, but it's a thought that counts.
Exactly. He was built like me too. It would have been
okay.
fine.
Fair fight.
But I was literally like, I'm gonna either punch this guy or dump my soda on him if he says it one more time. And he said it one more time, and I was like, River Cats, don't do it. And so I just turned around and I was like, shut the fuck up. And then I waited. He was like looking around like this, and I waited staring at him until he looked me in the eyes so I could be like, what are we doing? And he was like, yeah, you shut the fuck up. And like, and then he turned and left, and I thought he was going to tell on me because I thought that would be hilarious. Like, him just going to tell on me. And then I was also worried that he was like going up the stairs on the left to come around and get a running start and punch me from the right.
Oh, that would have been beautiful.
Classic drunk guy move. That was
Yeah. And he goes and I believe does a bump of coke and comes back leveled out. And he's like, my bad, I apologize. Can I get you guys a water or a Coke or anything? And I was like, no, I'm good. You're fine. Just leave me alone. And then not even 5 minutes later, Pat comes down.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Pat grabs my shoulders, and I was like, if this isn't Pat, I'm punching somebody. It was Pat. And I was like, what's up, Pat? And me and Pat are talking for a minute, and I noticed the flicker in this guy's eyes when Pat touches my wife's shoulder and says, hi, how have you been? He was like, he could touch her, but I can't? What the fuck? And he immediately goes, you can sit in my seat, bro, it's fine. He starts talking to Pat. Like, you can sit in my seat, and Pat's just blowing him off. Like, all right, thanks, man.
Yeah.
And then it just devolved from there, where shitting
Yeah, because
on
I had
him.
no idea. You texted me earlier, like an inning before, and you were like, "I might fight this guy."
Yeah.
But I was over in like left field, so I didn't have any context as to who. So I was like, "Yeah, fight him."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, I approve of whoever you want to fight."
Yeah.
So then when I got down there, immediately I was like, "Oh, this is the guy."
Yeah.
Has to be
This is the guy. And I was wearing, I'm wearing my Phillies gear. I'm wearing like Bryce Harper jersey, so he just starts. Harper. And the Phillies were up 4-0, and of course they bring in Jordan Romano, who's terrible, and he immediately starts coughing up the game.
Yeah.
So now this guy is like re-energized.
4-3, and
they hit a 3-run
he's stomping
homer.
around.
And this dude is just talking all this shit to me, and I'm just like ignoring him
Yeah.
because I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah, that's all you can do. He also
and-
thought we were Phillies fans. I don't give a shit about baseball. I was just at the game because it would be fun to go.
Yeah, you were wearing like neutral.
Yeah, I was wearing the River Cats hat.
Yeah, and he was so fucking obnoxious, and he just like, at first he was like, you can sit in my seats, it's okay. And I was like, thanks. And then he was like, it's okay for you to sit. I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm doing it.
You just
know?
told
Yeah.
me, yeah.
And he kept going, and they're making this comeback, and they get to 4-3, and then they get another hit, and the winning run comes up, and the Phillies make a pitching change, and this guy is just like talking all this crazy shit, and I haven't said anything. And then it gets to like one ball, 2 strikes on the batter, and like as the pitcher is winding up, this guy takes his glove and sticks it right in front of my face. So I kind of like, I saw enough to see that he struck out.
Yeah.
So like I haven't said anything to this guy. The
He
whole
also
time.
stepped down. Like, while he was saying you can sit in my seat, he was a row back with his kid and, like, a friend.
Wait, so
He also had his 2 kids. He had 2 kids there with him.
Past tense because they all died in a drunk driving accident.
Yes,
I'm
I'm
assuming.
assuming. I did tell him I would pay for his kid's Uber if he promised to drive home. But
he holds the glove in front of my face, and I see the guy, like, out of the corner of my eye, strike out and end the game.
that Phillies win.
And I was just like, oh, what happened? There was a glove in front of my face. Did the A's guy strike out?
Did you guys lose?
Oh, holy shit. Did you guys just lose? What happened? I couldn't see. You guys lost? And
So funny. The feet in his face to, like...
But then what I loved is, as we were walking out, there was an older
Yes,
A's
this was
fan
my favorite part.
who just kind of grabbed him and checked him. And you could tell, like, we couldn't hear him, but he was basically saying, like, yo, you got to knock that off.
Yeah,
You're
get
making
it
us all look
together.
stupid. Like,
Yeah.
get your shit together. And he was, like, really, it was just like, an old man kind of being
Yeah.
like,
It was so fun.
Also, you guys were so nice because like you're both unassuming looking.
Yeah.
So for some random dude to be talking shit, not knowing the verbal buzzsaw they're running into.
Yeah.
It's just like you're just 2 Mortal Kombat characters with a civilian in the middle, just fatality, throwing them back and forth. Where it's like you're being so nice.
It also, I feel like it didn't matter, though, because no matter what we said, it was just nonsense in his ears.
Yeah.
And, like, just something was getting
oh, yeah,
regurgitated back
It's
out.
a waste of your energy to, like, what am I going to do? Come up with a well-crafted roast joke?
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yep.
then he's just going to, like, spit on me?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like, I'm going to match his level of effort on this.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh no.
So that was fun.
So you drove all the way up here for the Phillies game just to go to this minor league stadium?
I did. I have a kid coming August 1st. So I'm doing that thing where it's like, I'm not going to be able to do anything cool or fun ever again.
So, second kid, correct?
Yeah, second
Hell yeah,
kid.
congrats, man.
Thank you,
Congrats.
thank you. So I was like, this is a very old school adventure. Like when I was in my mid-20s, hopping in a car and driving like 6 hours for like a couple ball games. is
Yeah.
like, yeah, of course, that's a no-brainer. And like even the way I'm doing it, like the game tonight, it ends at 10, and then I'm driving back because I got a podcast in LA tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now you know how it feels. So many times I've gone to roast battle and it starts at 10.
Yeah,
if you're lucky, and then
DeHerm goes
driving
up, and now
home.
it's ending at 2 a.m.
And that's just part of like being a comic, right?
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've kind of settled into like, more of like less of a road comic kind of life and more of like a writer.
Yeah.
And the hours are more normal. So like tonight, I'm dreading it because I'm like, this is some shit I did no problem when I was a young man.
Yeah.
But I'm 42 now.
Way different now.
I'm like, this is going to be a nightmare.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good game. Last night was a very fun game. Again, I don't care about baseball, but it was very entertaining. Not so much like the beginning of the game, like it was not so many hits and whatever,
Right.
but like being in that stadium, the amount of like foul balls that flew right near us was
Oh yeah.
that was fun. And then just having another sports team in Sacramento has been cool. So.
See, I haven't been to a baseball game since high school. Who are they? Are they playing the same team tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How many games do they play?
3-game series.
3 games. So that's just 3 games.
Yeah.
Okay.
All series are like 3 or 4.
The first sporting event I ever went to was a Phillies-Braves game in Philly.
Really?
Yeah, like in '97 probably. I was like 5. My aunt and uncle live in Philly. Or they live in Pennsylvania. And so we went to this game. I don't remember who. Somebody on the Phillies hit a grand slam, and it was like, I was like, oh shit, like a grand slam at the first game that like.
In '97, that might have been the only home run they had all season. Like that, they were bad.
Really?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been to a sports game or a stadium for an event in so long. I think
Really?
the only sports adjacent thing I've ever been to consistently in a stadium was NASCAR when I lived in Florida.
You fucking would.
Yeah, dude, that was the only thing.
I've never been to a NASCAR event.
It's
Me
the
either.
way you feel in your chest when those guys are ripping around
Yeah.
is fucking insane. I remember, I don't remember who it was. But remember they dragged against the wall right where we were sitting, right on the sidewall. Remember we all got sparks and shit in our eyes
Jesus.
from them doing that, and then everyone's piss ass drunk. Your parents just letting you run around. All the kids are hanging out below the stadium seats,
Yeah.
and so it's just fucking Lord of the Flies. Below the stadium seats, people are like stealing shit out of people's back pockets because you can go up and see behind
Yeah.
everything.
Wow.
Yeah, that was. There's a stadium, not a stadium. There's a racetrack right around the corner from here. I want to start taking Grady out to that. I'm like, we gotta get some redneck in you.
I was gonna say, didn't you like start paying attention to basketball a little so that you could take grades?
Exactly, I did, and then every time they would send me like a ticket thing, it's like, oh, $80 to come and sit in the back row. I'm like, go fuck yourself,
It's
Kings.
tough, man. It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive. Like even last night, you get this great seat. I went on day of the game and I got my ticket for $27. And
That's
it's, like,
nice.
super close. This is one of the most affordable things. But you go there and you're like, oh yeah, all right. So it's in a minor league stadium, but the one major league thing they figured out is charging $18 for a Bud Light.
Yep.
So you go in there, you get a couple drinks. I ended up not like eating anything, but even like with a couple beers or whatever, before you know it, and parking, because I don't know like. At Dodger Stadium, I always park at the bottom of the hill for free and walk up, but like I don't know Sacramento like that. So I just pull in, they're like $30. I'm like, oh, okay, $30. So by the time you get done doing that for one person, it's still like $80 to $100. And that's the cheap version of sports. You know?
That's for me. It's like, and the fact that I can watch it on TV and it be so much better quality, it makes it to where I don't want to go. I'm like, oh, so I have to go and be around noisy ass people who are gonna annoy me the entire time.
Yeah.
But that's because you haven't been to a sporting event.
Yes.
I will say,
Yeah.
like it is just a different atmosphere. Watching the game, even if you have kind of a shitty seat, it's such a different level of energy. I think you would really enjoy it.
No, but
Depends on the sport too.
That's
I've been to
also
a bunch
true.
of. Okay, I should say I've been to a bunch of UFC fights.
Okay.
So I like, but like even then, but even going to that, I like watching it on my phone or on TV more because I get to actually see everything I'm looking for up close. Like I don't care. Like
Yeah.
I don't care about being around a bunch of people. I'm like, no, I'm gonna see what's going on.
Here's what I like about baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That's my. People are like, wait, you go to games by yourself? I'm like, yes. That's like one of the only places I can detach from everything else that's going on. You know what I mean? Like I'm not there to, be with like a big group of friends or whatever. If my friends are there, great.
Yeah.
But I'll go and it's just like I can zone out because baseball is like a little bit slower of a
Yeah.
game. Even with the pitch clock, it's like, I feel like football, like you got to be like really fucking into everything. And basketball is a little bit more intense. Baseball is kind of like I'm just gonna go and chill. It's a very chill thing for me.
Yeah.
I can see that. See, the only thing I know with baseball is that pitcher who went down to Mexico. The new Danny McBride, the Eastbound and Down guy, like Trevor Bauer.
Oh yeah, he's in Japan.
It's Japan? Oh, I thought it was
Japan,
Mexico.
Yeah. He was in Mexico for a minute. Yeah.
Because watching him talk shit to people, I watch those clips all day long. It's the funny. Like my stepdad, diehard baseball fan, been a Brewers fan. We're out in Wisconsin since day one. Summer ruins his life because of how bad the Brewers do. All that kind of shit. So he hates Trevor. And so watching him shit talk, he's like sending me clips. Like, this is not a real man. He's ruining the sport of baseball. I'm like, oh.
Old school baseball people are the funny because now they're finally letting people like celebrate.
Yeah.
Like have personalities. But for, like I remember Yasiel Puig when he came to the Dodgers. This is a Cuban dude who like had to flee the country, and coyotes got him into America. And, like, the things he had to go through to get to America. And then he signs a contract, and he starts in the minor leagues, and he comes up to the Dodgers, and he's just, like, on fire immediately. This kid who was, like, living in a fucking hut a year before.
Yeah.
It's, like, the hottest thing to hit L.A. in baseball in 30 years, right?
Yeah.
And he would celebrate. He was excited. He was happy. And it was at a time where everybody in baseball was like, you're not allowed to show joy. What are you doing?
Oh, okay.
Like, that was always the old school thing. Like, if you hit a home run, you put your head down and you jog around the bases briskly.
Yeah.
If you jog a little bit slow or you take a second to watch the ball,
Yeah, I've seen that,
the next one we're throwing a fastball at your fucking head. And
Jesus.
it's like, what an insane mentality.
Yes.
That, like, a lot of people still, like, subscribe to.
Oh, no.
I do feel like the A's did not like Bryce Harper last night. You got hit with a pitch twice, didn't he? That was crazy.
That hit in the hand and the foot.
One of the only things I know about baseball is when the that announcer he called whatever city the fag capital of the world, and then he gave his apology, and as he's giving his apology, he's like, as Castellanos hits it home run over right field.
A guy called recently said...
So this was in 2020. This was during the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Empty stadiums. I'm guessing half-ass like crew or whatever.
Yeah.
He thought they were at commercial break. He had a hot mic.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. So he comes back from the break, and this is one of the greatest moments in baseball history, even if you're not a fan.
Yeah.
So they come back from the break, and they basically tell him during the break, hey, that comment went out over the air. Like, you're suspended, you're fired. But when we come back, you just issue an apology.
Yeah.
And then you leave.
Yep.
The only thing that could possibly interrupt an apology is a home run. Because anything else, balls and strikes, you're just ignoring.
Yeah.
Even a single, you're going to ignore. So he does this thing where he's like, you know, I said some things that went out over the air. I didn't realize that my microphone was on. I'm deeply apologetic. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. Mm-hmm. As that's a deep fly ball to left field by Castellanos, and it's gone. That'll make it a 4-0 game. I don't know if I'm ever going to put this headset on again. I apologize. Like, he just has to stop in the middle to call a home run.
Funny.
And then, I don't know if you know Castellanos, but, like...
I saw him at the game last night, and I was like, that's the guy from the video.
Well, so he ended up... people started, like, looking, and they're like, oh, he also hit a home run, like when they killed Bin Laden, and he hit a home run. They started tracking back all these things, and, like, whenever there was, like, a disaster...
Yeah.
That's why it's, like, a running joke now. Like, when the Pope died, everybody was like, go pick Castellanos to hit a home run tonight.
Oh, that's great.
Hilarious.
And like 2 other times it interrupted a thing where they're like mourning like the veteran of the game. They're like, he was a World War II veteran, and you know, at the age of 98 he finally passed away. Castellanos laces a double into the gallon. It's yeah.
So okay, I saw this thing recently with baseball. Oh my god, what the fuck was it? I'm having a complete brain fart.
I love how your first episode back, you're like, let's start with like 45 minutes of baseball.
Yes.
This podcast is not going to survive.
Never.
10 minutes of me saying I don't like baseball, but let's continue. The one thing I know about baseball.
We went on an Armenian rant right before. I'm like, that was the gold we
true.
needed.
Yeah.
Finding out.
I'm willing to revisit it if we have
We
to.
could move to our first segment. We have 2 segments. We told you a little bit about one of them. Our other segment, we'll start with that one. This is the Burn a Bridge segment. So if there's anybody in comedy that you would like to burn a bridge with, feel free to do it.
You have no idea how perfect this timing is. I'm not willing to burn the bridge yet.
Yeah.
But man, there's one. There's one. I've been standing by it with a book of matches for a minute now.
That's fun. We started that segment as a bit. We told this guy, David Rodriguez, we told him that everybody had done the segment, everybody had burned a bridge, and he was like, all right, then I would say Sean Grady's an asshole. Like, immediately,
He did it?
Yeah.
immediately just started going in.
No one had ever done it before.
No one, we just thought of it, that episode.
Hilarious.
And we've done it a couple times since then, and like a couple people have burned a bridge with like completely
It's always
irrelevant
Shannon Battle.
people.
It's
I
always
guess
Shannon.
also Shannon.
We can
but,
say his name now. He's fucking no longer Voldemort.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Fuck that.
It's your arch nemesis.
One of them. I got two now.
Who's the other one?
Well, she counts as two, actually.
Oh, yeah, we can't say her name either. We have a
That's the whole
psycho in the
thing.
scene who makes it like, she's like Jeepers Creepers. Like every 3 years she comes back, fucks a bunch of comics, has a BPD episode or schizophrenia, freaks out on 9 clubs and then leaves, disappears into the ether.
Do I know this person?
No.
No.
We-
I posted her Facebook post and like recently and said roast glass next week. But it's just a local.
Josh was very nice where I had the fun idea of like, let's talk her up to Pat and Moses as if she's been roasting around here a lot, and let's just send her down to the store for one mic.
Ruin LA from the inside.
it would be a nuclear bomb because like she's one of those people like her like she's crazy, so she'll like laugh the craziest. Like imagine my laugh times 10. Imagine that laugh happening during your setup of a joke.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Every time.
But she's doing it intentionally to fuck with you?
That's what it seems like. She says she's not, but then she'll also like get up and just walk around through the crowd, like so people are looking at her. Like it's a whole thing. And like multiple people have tried to tell her, like she's asked for advice, like how am I supposed to control my laugh? How am I supposed to do this? And people have been like, it's not your laugh, it's all the extra stuff.
Yes.
And she's like, well, I don't give a fuck. I can do what I want. And it's like, all right, well.
I really wanted her to go into the store and just like book her as a serious comic and just watch the nuclear bomb. Like, they have no idea what's happening.
LA's been on the rankings for how many weeks in a row, but now they can't do shows at the store. So.
It would be kind of a repeat of the Jennifer Gable thing. Do you guys know this story?
Nah.
Do you know?
I feel like you might have told me this before.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into it.
Well, were either of you guys ever around? Because like, when did you start doing roast battles at the store?
My first one was probably 2018 or 2019, but I was doing them very sparingly, like every 6-8 months.
21 or 22 for me.
Okay, so it was definitely before your era. You might have caught a little bit of this, but there was, a lot of people refer to like 15, 16, 17 as the golden years, and one of the reasons was the room was packed. Mm-hmm. Like there were rows of seats, but then the back half was standing room only. You were smushed in with everybody. It was a fucking nightmare, but the energy was incredible. So you got like 150 people into the belly room, which
That's
is like,
crazy.
You've seen that? There's no way that should be a thing.
No.
Right? So there was this this comic, and I found out after the fact that she's crazy. Mm-hmm. She's crazy. She might still be doing it. I have no idea. But she would purport herself as like a national headliner, and she would get booked on things, and her credits were fake. Her act was bad and or stolen. I saw her do a 10-minute set one time, and her opening joke crushed, and I recognized it from a meme that I had seen recently, and then she just like ate shit for like 9.5 minutes.
Jesus.
But one of these people who's gleefully doing it and not realizing it's going poorly.
Yeah. They think they're killing. They think they're on the right track.
Yes.
Upward, ascending star.
Her whole life is a lie, whether she's lying to herself or to other people.
Yeah.
So she signs up to do a roast battle. She's scheduled to go on first. I wasn't even booking at this point. I was just there.
Yeah.
Right? I was just battling.
Yeah.
And she's scheduled to go on first. And apparently she said to Moses, who was booking at the time, hey, I have some friends who are coming, but they're not going to be here till later, so I got to go on later. Well, I think at a lot of comedy shows you could be like, hey, can I go on later? Roast battle's not really that way. Like, there's an order.
There's a reason for the flow of the battles. Like, I book roast battles. I try and always set them up strategically.
Shit sandwich.
Basically hot opener. Get the crowd. Yeah, exactly.
And then if there is like the one we did last month, I had Logan and DJ co-main eventing, but Logan was doing a set in a small room. They asked to go earlier, so I was like, well, then you guys are opening the show because that's how it's going to be.
And now that we're putting like full shows online, you got to open with like a stronger undercard battle to retain viewership or whatever. back in the day, it was just like, hey, we build worst to best.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're brand new, you go on first. Those are the rules. So she said, hey, we got to go on later. And he said, no, you're going on first. This is what time you'll be going on, whatever.
Yeah.
Battle came around. He called her to the stage. She wasn't in the room. So he gave the win to her opponent via forfeit and kept it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then she hit him back and she was like, hey, what happened? And he was like, you weren't there. And I don't know what the message was from that point on, but she decided the way to handle the situation was to notify the fire marshal that the room was over capacity every Tuesday at 11 o'clock.
Oh, my God.
So they actually came out and, from that point on, we were no longer allowed to cram 100+ people into the belly room.
Yeah.
And we've had to do it legitimately ever since. But what a horrible way to handle your own failure. To just burn it down for everybody else.
And it's like, what a failure. You didn't even try. You went there and they didn't give you the spot you wanted. So you were like,
fuck them.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, it's not the same thing, but it reminds me the last time I went down to the store and roasted, going down there and then walking up being happy that I'm going to be roasting someone I like and I have a good time. And then I see a bunch of disabled people out front protesting. And then I just walk by and everyone's looking at me like, what's he going to do? What side is he on? And I'm like a fucking black Republican. Like, nope, fuck you. I'm on the show. I can walk up the stairs. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
That's hilarious.
No, it was so weird because then I always love those kind of protests because then it's two really disabled people. There's always 4 or 5 who are like, no, I think they're that light disability.
Yeah, and
Where
then
I'm
their handlers.
They're I have Crohn's disease.
Exactly.
So I have to march for this as well.
Well, it's like, so for me, I got in skateboard recently, and it makes me laugh because there's a bunch of adaptive skate competitions. And there's a division for people missing upper, arms and shit. And I'm like, why do you get this?
Yeah.
This is a sport dedicated to your, I get it. It sucks worse if you fall.
Yeah.
Get better. You have the thing to control everything.
So I got a fun story about this, and this is a fork in the road for me.
Yeah.
Because the guy who's in charge of those protests and everything like
Yep.
that, Lord knows, I've had to unfortunately block him on everything. Because
Yeah.
it's just I've tried with that guy.
Yeah.
We could get into that, but I'm going to choose not to.
You're standing up for
I'm
yourself.
going to choose to. Nicely done. I'm going to.
So this isn't the burn a bridge segment, it's the burn a ramp segment.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately that contact has been cut off, but we can come back to it.
Right at the knees.
The closest comp I can say to your skateboarding thing
Yeah.
is so my son has autism.
Yeah.
He's 7 years old, about to be 8. Has autism, and it affects him in a lot of ways, and in other ways it doesn't affect him at all.
Mm-hmm.
We want to get him involved in sports, and
Yeah.
he hates doing everything, but then he kind of eases his way into it. He does gymnastics, he does swimming, he really likes those. I'm obviously a huge baseball fan. I'm like, let's see if we can get him into baseball, right? It'd be nice if he kind of fucked with it a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's this great program in Burbank called Piper's Pals.
Yeah.
And it is named after this young woman named Piper who...
Perry.
What's that?
Perry.
Get the reference.
Skinny porn star.
Good for you.
Oh, no. Yeah, no.
Have you seen the white girl on a couch that looks like this with 6 black guys around her? Or yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
That's her.
Wow. All right.
Built like Josh. It's crazy.
Nice. Okay. No, this is not that person. That she has cerebral palsy.
Oh. I'm sending my kid to her camp.
Yeah, right. So no, she was. I think it's CP. She's in a wheelchair and everything.
Oh,
like
Piper
that.
deals with those too.
God, I was gonna make this a nice little shout out to Piper's Pals, and now please burn
They just
this.
got a free plug.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Fuck yeah,
It really took a turn.
they can never see this.
Oh.
Anyway, where was I?
So your son's
CPs.
been playing.
Yeah, so anyway, he joins this league, and the idea is for developmentally delayed and disabled
Yeah.
kids to play in the league, right? And the majority of them have some sort of physical disability. There's several kids in wheelchairs. Some of them, can't even like move. Another kid has to come up and hold the bat for them.
Mm-hmm.
They play against a team of like local like little leaguers who intentionally loses. They're the Washington Generals,
hilarious.
and they hit left-handed, and like all the kids barely tap the ball, and then the other team gets it and just fucking chucks it into the outfield and like lets them get a home run and everything. It's really a great program.
It's sweet.
Super
That's very
cute.
cool.
And for the majority of these kids, this is the highlight of their lives,
Yeah.
right? They're in a wheelchair, but they love this so much. So they manage to swing just a little bit, make a little bit of contact, then somebody wheels them around the bases, and there's a couple of them who they stop short of home plate so they could dive out of the wheelchair into home plate.
Hell yeah.
And you are watching kids have the thrill of their lives.
Yeah.
And then there's my son, who's the only one who doesn't want to be there.
Chasing butterflies.
His legs work fine.
Yeah.
All he does is bitch and complain. And all of the older kids love him. The girls especially. I
Yeah.
can see now why girls fall for like bad boys. He's such a piece of shit. And every kid gets paired. They're the pals, and then they all get paired with a buddy, which is like an
Yeah.
able-bodied like teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These teenage girls flock to him. He doesn't want to be there. His attitude sucks. He hits the ball and then refuses to run. His legs work fine. And he's just like,
Wheel
help,
me.
help. And they have to give him a piggyback ride around the bases. He's such an asshole. And all the girls are like, I wanna hang out with Grafton. I
Yeah.
want to be with Grafton today. And meanwhile, there's all these other kids, total feel-good stories, and everybody's like, you can help the kid in the wheelchair. I want to hang out with Grafton. And he's just like, they play the field, and he's just like sitting down out there. He's like, let me see your phone. He like wants to
Got
look at
any
all the
games?
phones. Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, man, he fucking sucks. But they gravitate towards him. It's
That's
crazy.
awesome.
Yeah, I loved your stories on your Instagram of you showing like him making the parking spaces
Yeah.
Oh,
for the
yeah.
cars.
All the
I
parking
love
lots,
that.
yeah.
It was one of my favorite things you would post. Like it was so interesting to me where it's like, it was just interesting.
Yeah,
He's
my
back
son.
into it,
My son's big into costumes. Like he'll make his own superhero costumes, stuff like that.
Oh, that's sick.
That's his form of autism for sure.
Everybody's
I
got
thought it was
one.
called gay.
I was
might have that too.
I was gonna make that joke, and then I remembered how I for like some school project when I was like 8 years old, I made like an Ultimate Warrior costume.
Oh,
for myself,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I turned out I'm straight.
Yeah,
So,
my
there's
mom.
hope.
My mom recently brought up that I was the Pink Power Ranger for Halloween twice. So,
Oh yeah, if you can overcome that and have a wife and kids.
Was it just the white one and you were so pink underneath it, it just shone?
You actually might be right. You might be right. That was
The
my
translucent Power
translucent.
Ranger.
Yeah.
How do you feel about gingers now being labeled as black people?
I've been saying the word for years, so I'm glad that I now have the pass.
We were having fun coming up with slurs for ginger.
We really were. That was.
What were your top three?
Porch pumpkins.
Oh my god, I didn't expect it to be so good. All right, we're 1 for 1. That's incredible.
What was the one you Pickagingies?
I had Pickagingy and Burnt Back.
Oh, Spookies.
That one was.
It was all right.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, we had. There's so many good ones out there.
That's incredible.
Oh, what was the meadow one? Meadow clowns.
The first one you said was, I think, possibly the greatest. And
Porch pumpkins
I think
is
no, I mean the
What was the
first
other
one
one?
he said in the car was Moon Coon. And
Yeah.
it's okay, I can say that now.
I can say it. I don't care.
But yeah, it's fun. Now I can sing my rap songs with the windows down, so it's fun. I don't know. How do you guys feel about me being black now?
I just knew I didn't like you guys inherently, so it's been perfect.
This is news to me. I was unaware of this.
There's a TikTok trend going around that gingers are black because of the melanin in our skin or something.
Here's
like
where
that.
it doesn't make sense.
I watched you get harassed for a whole 20 minutes last night and refused to fight a guy in public. So you got some
Ooh,
work
lost it.
to do. Yeah.
That's fair, but that's because I had my baby mama with me, and she was also down to fight actually.
Oh,
so
yeah, she
maybe-
would fight 100%. She would fight before you, I guarantee it.
Yeah, she
100%.
was. It kind of started because
She's
she was
down
like,
to
"Don't
clown."
touch me." Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's so funny taking like gingers are known for not having souls, Black people are known for having too much soul. And it's so funny. Like, nope, you're the same people now. So it's like either they have soul or they don't have soul.
I actually got to bring that joke back. I had a joke in my set where I say black people remind me of soul. Like, he sold my car.
I can't be seen.
Yeah. We'll edit. That one will just be me, Logan, and Joe.
Just Photoshop me out. Yeah.
We'll just put Buttercup over.
All right, we are running out of time, I think. We got one more segment, and this is my favorite segment. Also, we used to do, what would you call it, life advice, relationship advice for this guy, David Rodriguez, who's actually been doing very well for himself. He's been opening for Jesus Sepulveda, the comedian. I don't know. Nice enough to give him some spots at the Laugh Factory in L.A., and he's not just doing the Laughs Unlimited open mic. So it's going well for him. But now that we're back, I figured we'd bring back the relationship advice, life advice segment because he still needs it.
You know David, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He came down and did the roast battles. Okay.
Great.
Great, but he's absolutely insane. Like
very funny.
See, I only met him in passing.
He's...
Like, the most funny insane, though, where it's just like...
Yeah, not like a bad insane, not going to call the fire department on you, but...
like, walks up to me in public and full-on checks me if I'm not paying attention. Like, chest out, will try and check me if I'm not paying attention.
Do you even feel that? Because he's a tiny guy.
You know, he flies backwards. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's and then, like, because then I'll do it back to him, and then I forget I'm 3 times his size, and then he flies across the room.
One of my favorite stories is David coming up to Logan, all confident, like, Logan, I would fuck your mom. He said something along the lines of, like, I would fuck your mom. And Logan's mom, who lives in Wisconsin, just so happened to be in town. And Logan was like, oh, really? And walks David over and says, David, I'd like you to meet my mom. And then his mom was just like, oh, hi, David. Nice to meet you. And David's like, ah.
And I just walked away. I'm like, hey, David, talk to her for a bit. And I just walked away. And he's like too autistic.
So awkward. He doesn't know what to do.
Disengaged from the conversation. And I'm just watching the whole time him being so weird around my mom. Because it doesn't click in his head for a little bit that's actually my mom. And it just keeps going, and it finally realizes that's actually my mom. And you slowly see him turning redder and redder.
Yeah.
And then he disengages and walks away. My mom has no idea what's going on the whole time.
But did he fuck, though?
No. He bitched out. And that's what made me... I offered it up on a platter, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you called his bluff.
100%.
He was talking shit about beating us at bowling while watching a YouTube video on how to bowl. It was so funny. It was so funny. I love...
He was the same guy, like, a year into comedy. There was this, the Sacktown Get Down. They had, like, an ending segment, this little festival here, where they did, like, a karaoke thing. You had to dress up, and whoever did the funniest thing won, like, $100. So...
I won the first year doing a beautiful rendition of Wrecking Ball where my friend dressed up as a wrecking ball and I got half naked and rode his back around.
People go that route and have fun, or you have the chicks in the scene who go out and try and be like, sing a sexy song and just ruin it.
Yeah.
He sings Papa Roach. What's that song?
Last Resort?
Your Last Resort.
Yeah.
He goes out and
and
he's...
Papa Roach song right now.
He comes out in his jeans and shit, rips off his shirt in the middle of it, and starts, I'm talking going hard. And there's a bigger comic here who they don't know each other. David goes up to him, snatches his beer out of his hand, drinks it, then pours on his head and throws him back to empty bottle, and goes back to belting out Last Resort in the most aggressive emo fashion I've ever seen. It made me love him.
Did he win?
Yes, he won. Yeah.
I love that.
There were some chicks that were very mad because they tried doing sexy songs, but they they're cockeyed. And so everyone, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It was just very funny because they got very upset they didn't win.
Funny always wins at karaoke.
Oh, 100%.
Every single time.
Oh my
Even
God.
if you do great, you have a beautiful rendition. It's like you have the guy that...
It doesn't
Make you
matter.
laugh.
Fun and nostalgia.
It's like
It's a really simple formula. You go in there and you do the fucking Backstreet Boys and you get a standing ovation. You don't
It's
have to
like-
be good.
you went in there and you stole a man you don't know's $12 beer, drank a sip of it, and dumped the rest on your head.
Actually,
Yeah, that's amazing.
before we get into David's thing, I heard that the last time you did karaoke, Paige Wesley had to hold you while you were crying.
Oh, 100%. I ate too much mushrooms.
Oh,
And-
I've heard stories about that.
Oh,
night,
me
yeah.
too. It was one of those things
Yeah.
where, like, I tried to figure out in the morning, like, what the fuck happened? And then I realized I was kept eating mushrooms.
He kept eating them and going, oh, I have mushrooms. I'll try some mushrooms.
And then I forgot.
Already being on them.
Here's a fun thing. I was laughing with Paige about it, where I'm like, no, I felt beautiful ever since then. I'm like, oh, sweet. I'm gonna go do that again sometime. It was the shit.
The very first one he took, he had asked whoever showed up with the mushrooms. He asked him for just like a little piece to eat right there, and I was like, I'll give you one of mine. And then I gave Logan a piece, and he broke it in half and gave it to me. And I was like, no, I'm going to bed, dude. I'm filming a special tomorrow. I don't want to. I'm not doing mushrooms right now.
And he's like one of those, like, you know the phone jars where you have to put your phone in and like you put a timer, you can't get it out. You know what I'm talking about? I need that for mushrooms when I'm drinking, because I will forget every time.
Really?
Because I'm like, oh, I want to do this. It's nice.
Yeah.
And I forget, and I end up being 5 grams deep, not realizing I'm on mushrooms, trying to figure out why my brain's spinning in a fucking circle. Oh,
You just got to do like the memento tattoo, like on your
that'd
arm.
be great.
You've already had mushrooms.
Yep, I need that.
Yeah.
Because I'm already dumb as shit.
All right, so let's see what David Rodriguez is up to. It's a minute-long voice memo, way too long, but who knows?
Yo, what's going on? This is comedian David Rodriguez. It's good to be back on this podcast. I guess my question is, how do I be more confident in life and just carry myself as I normally do, sometimes I don't feel confident, whether it be in comedy or just in life. I don't really know anything specific, just in general, just in dating and my job and comedy, just conversation at parties, what can I do to just maintain that high self-esteem that I sometimes have, but sometimes lose. So, yeah, man, can't believe this podcast is back. I thought it was dead. Yeah, it's back for some reason. All right.
Okay, every time he does this, it's always about confidence. It's always in different fashions.
It is either confidence in myself or confidence
in the shoes he wears.
How do I have enough confidence to tell my girlfriend that she scares me?
Or ask her to stop hitting me. It hurts.
That was.
Oh, that's interesting.
That was
because apparently like she would play fight him.
Yeah.
But he's a very small man.
Yeah.
And so he would like get hurt. It's like, well, she actually scratched me, and it really hurt my feelings. And I'm just like, you should not be with her, dude, because she's gonna beat you up. Like, you can't handle anything. It's so wild. Because she's also she's little too.
Who knows where he's at now, though? So
She's probably getting fucked by another volleyball team. That's how he lost his last girlfriend.
I don't know if that was his last one.
2 of them.
2 of the team. I don't know.
That
how
were
big
apparently
of a
her
team-
best friends.
I don't know how big a team is in
I was going to say, if it's
volleyball,
beach
but I'm sure
volleyball, I
she
think that
does.
is an
Yeah, it's 2, yeah.
It's always the confidence with him, and I don't know why he's not confident. I feel like he is confident. Like we just said, he'll walk up, he'll be like talking
I was going to say,
shit.
every story you just told me.
Yeah, it's just maybe it's not real confidence, and that's what he needs help with. But you're a funny guy, David. That's enough. Like you really like we were just talking about karaoke. You only need to be funny. Just that goes for life too. You can get through life with being funny.
I would say for him, it's also because he's so confident about everything. The thing you're being confident about, don't be Googling it while you're being confident about it. He'll be like I said with the bowling. He'll be looking up the thing he's talking about. Like, I'm so confident in this because he has the AI rendition of it and he's repeating it. He does shit like that.
So when he's saying that he's going to beat you guys in bowling while Googling what
Dead
is
serious.
bowling, so it's not an ironic thing. He's not bit.
No.
You never know. We used to think he was just like an autistic genius, or we used to think he was a genius, and then we realized he was just autistic. Like he's like,
yeah.
There
is a misconception
weirdly,
that they're all geniuses.
Yes. He's weirdly, I don't even know how to put it, but like braggadocious, like confident, overconfident.
In the way, like you ever see a fighter throw a feint that turns into a real punch? You know what I'm talking about? Like so they go to fake it and then realize they can actually hit him and they follow through with it.
Okay.
But you can tell there was that stutter. That's his confidence. It's all a feint unless it actually
Unless
works
it
in
It
the
gets a
moment.
laugh and then
That's-
and
yeah.
then
All right,
it's a real-
That's
interesting.
fantastic. That
Yeah.
is exactly what
Yeah.
he is. And then it's just like, and if he faints, he has a good, like, he could slip and get back. Like,
He'll tell you he's gonna punch you in the face or some shit. He always says he's gonna beat the shit out of me.
He's always very goofy, very fun. I think you should keep the exact level of confidence you have right now because it's fun for everybody.
He got so much confidence when he got that Edgar haircut. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He had a moment where he got a weird Edgar where he got the bangs cut too low, and so it just like he's going through an emo phase.
Yeah. Here's the important. All right, I have an important question, and then I'm going to give my advice. Is he legitimately funny?
Oh
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
All right. Then I want to give sincere advice right now because this translates not only to like dating and everything like that, but like I've been in a lot of writers' rooms, and one thing that I've had to overcome is I don't like bombing. I've been doing comedy 20 years, and some people are totally comfortable bombing. Other people like hate it.
One of my best friends, like, hasn't done comedy because he's afraid to bomb.
Yeah.
He's done it a couple times and he's done very well, and then he's like, I'm kind of good with that.
I mean, I'm
So,
20 years in, and even if I go in and work on new shit, and I'm like preparing myself, like, okay, you're probably gonna bomb, like maybe you'll get a good joke or a good tag out of it. It's productive, whatever. The feeling of not doing well, the feeling of going up there and having people look at you and not laugh when you're trying to be funny is like devastating to me. And some people are just like, yeah, I don't care. That's part of the game. That's a healthy mindset. I wish I could have that, but I don't. I fight to try to have that. And in writers' rooms in particular, you have to just throw shit out there. You cannot be afraid to bomb. While you're sitting there trying to craft the perfect joke, other people are throwing out things. And the bottom line is, in a writer's room, if I go 6 for 6 on the day and the guy next to me goes 10 for 80, his shit was more valuable. They got 10 things out of him. They got 6 out of me. They don't remember the 70 bombs. It doesn't matter.
It's all out the window. You're not using it. It's not getting added into the show. It's not.
And here's why I asked, is he legitimately funny? Because comedy is inundated with people who are not funny, but are very comfortable bombing. People who are willing to go 0 for 80.
Yeah.
And we need less of those people. We need fewer of those people. We need those people to go away.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're wasting everyone's time, and they have the most confidence in the world, and it is completely undeserved.
There's a lot of that here.
Yeah, but
Yes.
David is not one of them.
There's
He's
a lot of it
legitimately
everywhere.
funny.
So if you guys, and I put you on the spot, but I believe you, and I've seen David roast, and I know he's
Yeah.
funny. So if you guys had said, no, he's not really funny, my advice would be less confidence. Whatever you think you have, it's too much, less. But what I would say is, if you're legitimately funny, you just got to get over the fear of bombing. And all it takes is like putting yourself out there repeatedly, whether it's with women or pitching ideas in a room or doing jokes on stage or whatever. Just keep reminding yourself all the time, you cannot achieve success without the risk of failure.
Yeah.
Right? And if you are failing and learning from it, it's productive and it's good. It's a good experience. It's painful in the moment, but just keep reminding yourself that everybody fucking bombs. I've been in these rooms with some of the most accomplished writers in the game in our world and watched them bomb repeatedly for hours on end. The difference is then they hit their groove and they get 3 or 4 jokes that make the show.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, they contributed so much. So you cannot be afraid to bomb if you are truly funny, which David, you are. So embrace bombing a little bit more. Everybody who's not David, if you're not funny, stop bombing, stop doing comedy, leave us alone.
That's beautiful advice.
Beautiful. I feel like that's what we should end on.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
We should have ended on the CP joke.
Yeah, that's
We had
true.
another half hour to go.
I did also think it would be hilarious if the camera just stopped while you were like, all right, so here's my sincere advice for David.
You can cut Sarah. Do the Sopranos ending, sure.
Pat, where can people find you online?
Please don't. Instagram at the Pat Parker. I don't really do anything else on social media now. So yeah, just follow me there at the Pat Parker. And yeah.
Hell yeah. I will say I am surprised that we got through this entire episode without really talking about roast battle at all. That was
Pleasantly surprised.
fun. Yeah.
You're gonna do enough of that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's a lot. Man, it's become like a major part of my life, and like I love it, but it's
Yeah.
also really nice to just have a break and talk about literally anything.
Yeah.
Else.
Yeah, same here. So we gotta watch 15 battles today to rank. So
Yeah.
I get it. Logan, where can people find you?
Just Mr. Footloose on Instagram, Assumed Valor on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. You still have a Twitch channel?
Nah, that one got taken down.
Knew that was coming.
No, but the Assumed Valor, I got more stuff coming up. I got a new thing coming out hopefully next month called POS of History. So it's just pieces of shit from history, and I go through and I rate you on a scale I have a little scale of 1 to 5.
That's fun.
And I go through characters, like my first one's on Karl Marx. So I read a bunch of books, did a bunch of things on it. Now I'm getting my research together, and I'm just gonna go through. I'm gonna start with bigger characters, but then like I know a lot of people, like I know a lot of shit about J.P. Morgan and shit like that. People you don't normally think of as not pieces of shit, but it don't come right to your mind. And so I'm excited to start picking up things like that and doing that. So yeah, that's under Assumed Valor.
I'm gonna be doing I might be doing a couple things at Punchline next year. And that I would like that
100%,
type of
yeah.
show
You let me know.
with it.
It's
But,
interesting because you find like, for me, it got started under a lot of like generals during World War II, where we always these lauded generals like Pat and all this shit, and then once you start finding out how not dumb but how much the shit they got credit for was actually other generals who were wartime generals, like generals who did all this shit that they weren't supposed to, but it was good for their men. And because they didn't want to give them medals, they gave it to these bigger generals. So they end up seeming like they made all these good decisions. When it was actually like terrible Terry Allen was one of these guys.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Shit like that.
All right. Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Follow me at JMeans, at Roast Battle Bay Area. Join the Roast Battle Patreon. We do a lot of fun stuff on there. I've been running the Hangouts. We got a fun one with Dan Wicks tomorrow. I'm very excited for that.
Oh, I love that dude.
And then I've got a new show coming to Punchline next month, 2 months from now. Comics will be telling a story, and then me and the panel will be interrupting them to riff, ask questions, add input, whatever. It's going to be called Can I Finish? So check out that one. All right. Bye, everybody. Fucking like, subscribe, whatever you need to do for the podcast. Bye.